Central Valley work session. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Colleen, can you call roll? Do we need to state? I'll take you. Present.
Mr. Bloom,
Here.
Ms. Senzo,
Here.
Here.
Mr. Moan,
Here.
Mr. O'Neill,
Here.
Mr. Ross,
Here.
Mr. Zirinsky,
Here.
Ms. Belkacem.
You'll do that when we get there. Think about public comments.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
So yeah, you can say it.
Number 3, public comments on agenda items.
So I don't think we need to go through the decorum of the public meeting, correct? You guys have been here enough times and
Yeah.
the rules and regulations. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 4, minutes.
So you have public comment on agenda items. It's okay. Any public
Public
comment?
comments on agenda items.
I'm gonna talk later. Well, were you voting before the end public comment?
This is a work session. There's no vote tonight.
Not yet, but next, I'm gonna chat at the end, I think.
So if you have something that's on the agenda, then now's the time to talk about it. If you have something you want to talk about that's not an agenda item, you do that at the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about content.
Thank you.
Is that on the agenda?
It's an agenda.
Okay, good. I honestly, I wrote my notes at the soccer field, so. So, a couple things, Brandy Patterson, 111 Pine Haven. Are we seeing that? I don't even remember. Okay, so, in regards to the last meeting about the K-5 content, I wanted to, from a public perspective, bring kind of 2, I guess maybe misguided perceptions. One was that if you look back, and if you were listening live, but if you look back, it seemed like when the presentation was presented that the committee that was on the K-5 content exploratory, I guess, committee, that it was kind of a unanimous decision that we went with, that they decided upon this Amplify CKLA. But then after I actually talked to staff and members of the committee and those not on the committee, just a variety of people who have had their hands in it and have been exploring it, it's really, I would say, safe to say 50-50 split. So I think that was a big kind of misguided perception, not to anyone's fault, but I wanted to make sure that I think that is a safe bet. And I feel comfortable saying that because of who I've spoken to and what I've learned. So the other was that Journeys is no longer available. I thought that it was expiring, the content was expiring, but in fact, it's just the contract that expired that we have extended, I think, a year or so already. But in fact, I think our copyright version is 2017, and that content is available till at least 2025. So with that said, to that point, we talked a lot about the test scores, and I know Dibbles is one from K-2 more so, but PSSA is often, obviously, we know we really are driven by standardized testing and the results. But like if you look from the PSSA test results from 3 through 5 in 2018 and 2019, they're basically the same, not even like a point hardly different. But then the pandemic happened. 2020, we didn't have results. 2021, dramatic decrease. 15% of our students didn't even take the PSSAs. So that's a huge chunk of students. That is just on the PSSA website. So that was where I found that information. So I thought that was important. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I do want to say positive things. But the reason why I'm bringing this to light first, because if I run out of time, I want to make sure that I think that it might behoove everyone to just delay this one more time. I am guaranteeing you that as a salesperson, the account executive at HMH will extend us a year. I'm sure of it. I'm sure they will do everything they can to keep us on their content another year. I bet it's worth exploring. And I think for our students' sake, you know, to Rachel's point earlier, we were talking, these kids, this is the first year back for a full year in class. We're still getting our bearings. The teachers are just really able, if I can even say this, to focus on education at this point. And while I know the principals and I know that a lot of folks are like for it, and while I can appreciate it, I'm wondering if a delay of maybe one more year might be something to think about a little bit more. That's all. But I do want to say that I did spend time in the small, short amount of time I had to review the content. I appreciate the ability to review it. I do think that I looked at like rearrange, like with the reasoning behind the transition, test scores prior, Journey's content. I looked at sensitive content in biased teachings within it and other schools. I talked to all kinds of other principals. I know this is not my job, but I'm a parent and it's my right. So I talked to other principals and a lot of them in the area, top ranking schools under us, middle, a lot of them are still using Journeys or that next Journeys level or the new improved Journeys level, which is that into reading, which I know the committee completely shot down. So I don't know much about that, but I do know that Journeys is still very prevalent and in some of the higher rated schools. And so I found that. And then also oral and cold reading for first grade, it looked like it was lacking in the content. And according to that graph, the oral comprehension was like one of our biggest areas that needed improvement. And so I just want to make sure that is addressed in some way. So if we see, and Carla and Christina and everyone, the principals and Ed, even I Miller gave me amazing time for me to just pick their brains. So I appreciate you guys very much. But I do want to make sure, and what I heard and was confirmed to me, that if there is areas lacking, that they will have supplemental resources and do that. So that's good. So those are the things I looked at, but I think for me and to anyone listening who didn't have a chance to look at the content, I want to say that I think the greatest way to summarize the content that they're looking at is that the process of the building content upon each year, and the fact that it's very much more realistic and authentic and pleasantly unbiased and absent of a lot of current sensitive topics, to my knowledge, from what I was able to see in this short amount of time. And the ultimate skills goal, like looking at it overall, like Ed, you said this today, the overall skills goal, right? Where we're trying to get to. I think it's fantastic. There is some dark and heavy and aggressive content though. To this point though, I have to trust on the planning committees for the grades and the teachers and the people who are with our kids every day. But I think the takeaway is that everyone that I spoke to has confirmed that if there is this kind of dark, frightening, aggressive content, that no one, not our teachers, not our admin staff, not our special education staff, no one wants our children to be like subjected to this content and that's harmful or inappropriate in any way. I think we all can agree to that and I can appreciate that. And it has been verbally confirmed. So my hope and I pray that that stays the way it is, So, for instance, there's a story about Malala. She's a Nobel Peace Prize winner, but there is a story for second grade where, and you probably I know you've all done your due diligence. I trust that, but she gets shot in the head on a school bus. In second grade, these kids would have this book. Now, it is an additional reading resource, which and from my understanding, every curriculum has these additional reading resources, and very few or very seldom do we actually adopt them into our curriculum. So my question that I know won't be answered today, but is if we could have possibly a guarantee to not use these trade books, because if that one is in there, I have to think that there might be some other ones in there. So if we could maybe have like, and Mr. Eimiller said that he's not even planning to put them on the shelves. But I do know we're all humans, and I do know that some teachers may think that that is a worthy story for a second-year-old to read. So I'm wondering if the board and the teachers and the planning committee we can just scooch those trade books even off the table, like not even explore them. And also, I was curious to find out if you guys all reviewed the content, which I'm pretty sure you have, if you would be kind enough to share if there were any concerns on any titles that you guys didn't like that you would suggest to the planning committee to pull. I would be interested in conversing on that maybe further. And that's, I know I'm speaking over, I'm so sorry, but there is also, I wanted to actually bring up one more thing is for anybody who's out there who watches this, there are a lot of Facebook pages on CKLA. I was mostly concerned with second and fourth grade because I couldn't concern myself with all of the grades because I have a job and a life. But there's one in particular for second grade, and there are teachers that have already adapted this curriculum, and they had nothing but positive things to say for it. They brought up the negative stories, but then they said like Malala and the Magic Pen, that was a book that they replaced the scary story with. So there are already people doing this. If we do vote to do it, again, I hope we can just wait a year just to see where our scores are. But if we do vote to do it, I think that utilizing those resources that are out there from people who already are doing it now might be something that would be helpful. And I know a lot of teachers aren't on Facebook, but maybe just for that purpose, it might be helpful.
Thank you.
So, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brandy. We really appreciate the work you put into this, and I'm sure the board, as well as the administrators in the audience, will take your comments under consideration. Thank you very much.
Rachel Schwer, 123 York Way. I already emailed all of you most of my thoughts, and I'm going to echo a lot of what Brandy said, but so I'm on the record, that I also urge you to wait another year, renew Journeys one more year, give our students a chance to readjust. We're going to have new kindergartners coming in this year that may have never gone to preschool. And we're going to have to adjust curriculum anyways, because we're going to have all day kindergarten the following year. So I don't think it would hurt to just delay a year before we're implementing new curriculum, maybe give the teachers that additional time to get used to it. I know this series with Carla comes with a lot of professional development, which they liked, which was very encouraging to hear. But I just think for our students' sake, for our teachers' sake, to maybe delay another year and add another year of Journeys, especially as Brandy mentioned, that it seemed like more 50-50 when we don't have a majority of support from our teachers who are going to be teaching this. Is this really something that we should be doing? Is there some other curriculum out there that maybe, more 60, 70, 80% of our staff would be on board with doing? Just ideas to explore as far as what's best for our kids at this point in time. I know the contract's up, but we've renewed it once. We can renew it again, as Brandy said, so that we do what's best for our kids at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Scher, thank you for sending us the email, and thank you for the time and comments. And again, as I said to Brandy, I'm sure this board, as well as the administration, would take your concerns under advisement. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Number 4, minutes. Number 1, to approve the voting session minutes from April 21st, 2022. Moving right along, treasurer's report, Mr. King.
1, the following bills and reports are submitted for approval. Excuse me. Pay bills, confirm the April 2022 general fund payments in the amount of $1,172,790.79. Number 2, confirm the April 2022 cafeteria fund payments in the amount of $102,224.42. Report to approve the April 2022 Berkheimer report.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments from the board? Okay. Agenda items. Board policy and items, Ms. Belcastro is the chairperson. She's not here.
Nothing.
We have nothing. Moving to negotiation items, Mr. O'Neill, chairperson.
To my knowledge, there's nothing at this time, but Dr. Perry and Falco, we're working on the contract. right?
There may be an addition.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe. Okay. Item C, education items, Mr. Ross, chairperson.
Number 1, to approve, confirm the release time, staff development requests. Conference and location would be Schools to Watch Training 2022, State College, PA. The individual is Danielle Thompson, and the date is 7/17 to 7/18/2022. 2, to approve the 2022 graduation list for the Central Valley High School. 3, to approve updates to the high school program of study for the 2022-2023 school year. 4, to approve in accordance with policy, the final adoption of the following K-5 reading series.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ross. Anything else under education?
How many kids are graduating?
Mark, what's our, obviously this changes. What's our graduation number? 170s?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving right along. Technology, Mr. Moed.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Item E, athletics, Mr. King, chairperson.
Approve the following summer conditioning programs beginning June 7th, 2022 through August 12th, 2022 at a stipend of $10 an hour, not to exceed 60 total hours. Boys basketball, Brandon Ambrose. Girls basketball, Chris Rasso. Cross country, Bill King. Football, Mark Lyons. Boys soccer, Jack Shear. Girls soccer, Drew Bowman. Volleyball, Candace Glumac. Cheerleading, Heather Simovsky. Girls tennis, Dwayne Hardick. 2, to approve the medic rescue to provide emergency medical transportation for the Central Valley School District as per agreement at an annual fee of $3,400.
Anything else, Mr. King?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Other comments? All right, moving along. Extracurricular activities, Mrs. DeCenzo, chairperson.
Yeah, there's a chart for just your FYI of field trips. The designation is in the first column, groups that are going is the second, and the dates to attend is the third column.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Item G, building and grounds, Mr. Zaritsky, chairperson.
Number one, we're looking to approve and confirm the following building usage requests pending the final approval from the superintendent regarding the review of the organization's health and safety plan, as well as a liability sign-off waiver, as you can see in the chart listed. Also, I did meet with Dr. Perry last Thursday, and we met with the architect via video conference, went through the final budget, as I know that the finance committee did prior to, explanations on, what we have going on, reasons for some changes to the good and the bad for that. And also, Dr. Perry, do you want to kind of give the update of the plan?
Yes, so the architects are recommending that we go out to bid. So that's publicly advertised. I don't remember the 3 dates off the top of my head. Do you remember what they were?
It was in the Times today, the Post said tomorrow, next 3 weeks.
3 consecutive weeks, there'll be an advertisement for the bids. Contractors will have an opportunity. There's a meeting that will be held at Center Grange with the contractors and the architect. They'll have an opportunity to walk the site, exactly what it is that they potentially are bidding on. And then the public bid opening, I believe, is June 8th.
June 8th.
June 8th. So there'll be a public bid opening, June 8th, that anybody's welcome to come. That'll also be advertised. The contractors will come here. They open up the sealed bids. It's public bid, so nobody knows who's bidding what. They'll submit their sealed bids. We'll open those bids here. We'll announce what the bids are. All the contractors will be here so that they can hear what the bids are. And at that point, that information will come back to the Board of Education, and the Board of Education will have time to decide whether or not they plan to accept the bids, not accept the bids, accept certain parts, so on and so forth. So you'll have an opportunity to do that before there's any public vote on whether or not to accept the bids.
Okay. Any other comments on the building and grounds? Hearing none, let's move to personnel items. Mr. Bloom, chairperson.
We're looking to approve the resignation of Tanya Huang, paraprofessional, effective June 3rd, 2022. Number 2, to approve the resignation of Beth Hughes, paraprofessional, effective June 3rd, 2022. To approve an FMLA request for a middle school teacher from 8/22/2022 through 1/3/2023. Number 4, to approve the following personnel for extended school year pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances. The teachers are Megan Knight, Chelsea Costello, Julie Rosensteel, Donna Rocknick, and Drew Bowman. Paraprofessional will be paid their hourly rate to be determined, and to approve an FMLA request for a custodian from April 25th, 2022 through August 15th, 2022. Anything else, Dr. Perry?
That is it for now.
Is that correct?
Is what correct?
Oh, April to, okay, never mind.
I'm capable of making a mistake.
I was reading the number 5 incorrectly. That's my fault.
Thanks, Tom. You got to keep us on our toes, you know that.
I gotta keep my mind.
All right, moving again right along. Number I, finance items. Number one, to approve to exonerate Berkheimer from collection of unpaid 2021 center real estate taxes in the amount of $481,999.16 and penalty of $24,100.09. Victoria Leininger from collection of unpaid 2021 Potter real estate taxes in the amount of $24,825.57 and a penalty of $1,241.28. And Virginia Tobacco from collection of unpaid 2021 Monaca real estate taxes in the amount of $202,959.79 and penalty of $10,241.50. These unpaid 2021 real estate taxes have been filed with the Beaver County Tax Claim Bureau of Collection. This is pretty standard procedure. We go through this every year.
Yes.
People pay them late, whatever, penalties, whatever, and we just move on.
That actually represents a 96.5% collection rate. So 3.5% has not been collected yet. That's what has not been collected.
Sure.
That represents a 3.5%.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Perry. Number two, to approve the following Highmark Health Insurance monthly renewal rates for the 2022-2023 school year. These amounts reflect a 12% increase over prior year. And you could see for single person, $815, husband and wife, $2,220, parent and child, $2,080, and family, $2,276. Number three, to approve a one-year renewal with Guardian Dental for the 2022-2023 school year, monthly rates as followed, which reflects no increase. And you see the rates for single, parent and child, husband and wife, and family. And number four, to approve the adoption of the preliminary / proposed final general fund budget for the 2022-2023 school year. This includes revenues of $41,179,491 and expenditures of $40,217,784. The school code mandates final adoption of this budget after 30 days following tentative adoption, and the budget to be available for public review of 20 days prior to final adoption. This budget this year reflects a 2.77 millage tax increase. Any other comments, questions?
Question.
Yeah.
Kind of for the finance committee, John, Nick, what did we, prior to knowing the increase for item 2, what did we project that the increase might be? You know, coming into this year?
In our budget planning, what'd you put?
It was 10%.
10%.
Current year, we knew it was 10%. And that's what we included in there. Then for next year, the consortium increase is 10%, but Central Valley has 106% loss ratio because we have 4 high claims. So we have to be bumped up 2%.
Budgeted.
So we budgeted 12%. It's been in our numbers from day one.
Okay, so it doesn't affect it that
No.
much at all.
It's already in there.
Okay,
Thank you.
any other comments? All right. Moving right along, public comment.
From us.
Okay. Can I ask the administrator first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. At this time, we're going to reach out to our administrators for a report on the different buildings. Start, Mr. Vukovican, please.
One thing I'd like to mention for like the boys tennis team won their match today against Lawrence. They finished third in the WPIAL.
So there's
They're in first place last year. They'll make the state, they'll advance to the state playoffs for the first time.
I saw
Very exciting.
him as he was pulling the van. I stopped him. He rolled down a window. I said, don't make today the last one, I said.
That's great. Thank you.
Sean's gonna.
The other high school items, Mr. Ambrose, we're finishing our AP testing this week. We had our prom this past Friday. It went very well. I see the kids have a great time. And next week is the big week for our Keystone testing. We'll be testing almost 400 kids. That's fun together. Sure. Algebra, biology. And believe it or not, the final week's the last week for seniors, well, our final exams. And then
Second thing we done.
our graduation week in finals for underclassmen.
Mr. McCreary, I may have asked you this before. What is the commencement date?
June the 3rd.
June the 3rd in the stadium. Okay, thank you.
Rain date is 10 a.m. next morning.
Okay,
Snow raining, we do have a tentative situation at CVSD that we'll get into if we have to do.
I don't think any of us put on any weight, so just use the same size.
Yeah, we got the guy.
Okay, thank you. Casey?
At the middle school, we have been taking our PSSA assessments at the end of April and the beginning of May. Our students put forth very good effort for those. We will have our Keystone assessments in about 2 weeks for our students who are taking algebra, both 7th and 8th grade. We're getting ready for some of our end of the year events. So we have our award ceremony, that's the end of the year. We also had our band concert last night for 7th and 8th grade. The students did a great job performing. We'll have our 6th grade band and chorus concert, as well as 7th and 8th grade chorus concert next week. Wednesday, we've picked our new Brave Warriors for our school-wide positive behavior program. So they're already starting to plan some activities for next year. And we're just making it for the last 3 weeks of school, a lot of activities and things planned for the kids.
Thank you. I saw the email from Mr. Dolph. I believe it's Monday, the 25th, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
at, I think it's 6 to 7:30 in the stadium.
Yes.
Okay, and are these like academic awards?
Those are academic awards, yeah.
Okay. All right.
If it
Thank-
rains, Mr. Dolph,
If it rains, we're gonna have to cut back on the amount of parent attendees. We're gonna move it to the middle school auditorium. Good weather as well, because we're able to bring more friends.
right. But you have a backup plan then, okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, Mr. Dolph, since we're in the middle school right now?
This is part of my touch on, we do have our TFI visit coming up for our PBIS program, our BRAVE program. So they'll be visiting us here next week. Well, the kids are doing a really nice job, just finishing the year on a good note. They're excited about the upcoming events and trips and park days and carnivals that we have planned. And our kids they finished up the testing, as she said, and we have about 50 preparing for the algebra Keystone.
Okay, thank,
I failed to mention too, last week, we had our awards assembly and we gave over $250,000 in scholarships to our seniors. And that was awesome. Proud of the seniors. They earned the scholarships and it was grateful to the donors of our community that offer these scholarships to our kids. So that's a lot of money that our kids walk out of here with each and every year. So
that's great to know.
There were about 30 or 40, at least 30 or 40 kids that received at least something scholarships in their class.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Park?
We have several kiddos going to Rochester tomorrow from our gifted program for the invention convention. And a few high school judges will be going along with them. On Monday, we had our unified track, which is similar to bocce, but they do track and field events. They participated in the regional championships and took 3rd place, which was good for them in their 2nd year running. And I failed to mention in the last meeting that we did complete our special education audit and there's no corrective action needed for that. And as Dolph said, we have people coming in to observe our school-wide behavior support program. So I'm sure Carla will let you know about that already took place at her building.
Okay, thank you. Carla, can you give us a report for?
CFI walkthrough for school-wide positive behavior took place on April 27th, and the reps from BBI came in and evaluated our program, and we scored a perfect 100%. So we were really proud of all of the things that are going on at Center Grange positively.
That's great.
So they gave us a lot of accolades. On May 2nd, we had our Head Start students come to visit Center Grange in preparation for them to come to kindergarten. Next year, the teachers and about 20 students came for a tour and meeting the teachers, which is always fun. On May 5th, we had another kindergarten registration makeup day for those students who had not come for the original registration day. Probably during the summer, we will have some more students because we are not full with the classes yet. So we're in the midst of our spring benchmark assessments, just like everyone else in all the other schools. We're doing our DIBELS and MAPS tests, and the kids are really working hard to do those. We did kick off our Story Walk week this week with a puppet show about reading and books. And Story Walk will take place tomorrow evening in the school, and it will be from 5:30 to 8 o'clock if anyone is interested. And we have lots of field trips and grand finale at the end of the month, and musicals on June 1st and 2nd for 1st and 2nd grade.
Great.
Got it?
Well, thank you very much. Christina, tell us what's going on in Todd Lane.
I'm going to echo a lot of things I said. We just finished up PSSAs. We have our last student testing tomorrow, and then PSSAs will be out of the building. So we're busy planning transition days. Second grade is going to do a transition day to Todd Lane, first time. So we are planning that with student leaders. The leaders were picked today, so we'll be preparing them so that they're able to, our fourth graders are able to take around our second graders. We're also busy with our spelling bee. We do a school-wide spelling bee, so we're in the classroom round right now. Eventually we move to an entire grade level, and then eventually to an entire building level for the spelling bee. We also will be having our event day and our field trips coming up, and our band and choral concerts.
Okay, sounds good.
If I can add one more thing.
Sure.
On Monday, the PVOS, the academic growth numbers came out, and we were pretty proud of, in the high school, we were able to get first. We were first in the county in algebra, first in the county in biology, and third in the county in literature. So those came out from the 2021 school year.
Wow, that's great to hear. Thank you very much, Mr. Fakovic.
Our achievement as well is first in the county.
Yes.
That's good. One other thing,
And ultimately, that's the end of the capstone is that, you know, when the kids graduate, how they do when they walk out of here. Obviously, they're performing well.
sure. I know Mr. Saccone is not here. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that the girls softball have qualified for the playoffs?
Correct.
Okay. And any other,
We have a number of students that have already qualified for the Whitney for track.
very good. Thank you. We didn't want to leave them out. Okay, thank you. All right. Moving right along, we'll go with our superintendent's comments.
I just want to thank everybody for your passion for education. That's why we're here. We're here to educate kids and appreciate everyone's passion. And I appreciate the passion and the efforts that the teachers put in, and I appreciate the passion and the efforts that the administrators put in. And I want to thank our administrators for making time. You know, you can hear it's a busy time of year. It's difficult to find time during the day with everything that goes on, and you never know what your day is going to be, and something happens, and you have good plans to meet with somebody at this time, and then this happens and you got to deal with it. So I do appreciate them taking time out of their day to make sure that our public has the opportunity to get the information they need so that you feel comfortable that you can trust what's going on here in the district. So I want to thank you all for your time and efforts.
Okay, thank you. Board member comments. You know, you were always a leadoff guy anyway.
Keep it that way. Let's keep it that way. I'll start off. First, I'd like to just comment and congratulate everybody on all levels. I'm hearing a lot of great things tonight. We talk about a lot of different things, but education is what we're all basically here for. And everything I've heard over here tonight with our test scores, et cetera, I mean, it's just great to hear. I mean, that's what I guess maybe being an ex-educator, and that's what I feel is probably the most important thing that we do here at Central Valley. And obviously, not only our administration, but our staff in general, I mean, must be doing a great job, in getting our kids prepared for the academics that they are facing every single day. And then not only for what they do during the day, but for our tests. And they're hearing we're scoring very well. And that's just great to hear. And what I heard you say is throughout the county, we're like number one. And almost a lot of things that I heard Mr. Fakova can't say. And that says something because we have some good school districts that, you know, that we've been behind in the past. And now, you know, to go ahead of them in this is saying something for the administration and our staff. It's just great to hear. Also, you know, going into the athletic end of it, I heard what Mr. Fakovian said about Tim Casey. It's great to hear that he's going to possibly go on into the state, and what a way to go out. He's not only a good coach, but a true gentleman.
Good man.
True gentleman and a great guy. And I don't want to accept his resignation, to be honest with you. I just think he's that good of a person. Yeah, not only as a coach, but as a person. And so it's a great loss to have somebody like him, to lose him. And great to hear about our softball coach, her first year. And it seems like she did a real nice job. I had an opportunity to watch them play. It was an exhibition game the other night against South Fayette. And along with watching the baseball and going back and forth watching the two. I wish we could compete a little bit better in baseball against Beaver, but just wasn't meant to be. But that was, it was fun to watch the girls perform, and happy to see that they're moving on. Speaking of athletics, you know, I see that Mr. Saccone isn't here tonight, but maybe you being close to the high school here and also the sports programs, Mr. McCreary, how many kids do we have signed up for football as of right now?
We had a meeting last week and I believe they had 85.
85. I'm very concerned about something here. And I know we've talked about this. And we're just sitting here with the football season ready to come up. And I'm just questioning what we're going to do with 80, let's say 70 come up, 75, not the 85, okay? Where we're going to put 75 football players, their equipment, and also the gym class. Where are we going to dress them? Where are we going to store the equipment, et cetera? Do you guys have a game plan for that?
The game plan would be the current situation which we have. There isn't another alternative at the moment. The gym class and the teams in that locker room don't really happen at the same time. Gym classes will dress from 7:30 to 2:30 during the day. There is a storage room for football equipment that the kids.
But am I not, with 75 kids?
It's gonna be tight. I'm not saying.
Where are they going to put, will they now have to move into where the phys ed class dresses?
They do that now.
Okay. I don't think that's a healthy situation for us to be in a school district our size. I just think it's not healthy. I think we're better than that. And I think it's something that I think this board should take a hard look at. We're not addressing a situation that I think is in need. And then what you have, then if the football team has been successful as they have been, if they move on WPIL and into the state, now you have the basketball team practicing at the same time. Am I right?
That's correct.
Where are they going to dress? Then where do they dress?
It's the same locker room. Now, typically the times aren't always the same. It's the same.
But the lockers will be filled with football guys.
That's correct.
Okay. I just think we have to take a hard look at this. I really do. I don't think this is something that's healthy for, we're better than that. I think we need to address our facilities because where we're at is just not the right place to be. You know, I mean, you're talking about 7, and that's great. I mean, the program has, got to a great point. And now, what do we do with them? You know, it's great that the kids now want to be part of a successful program. So I think, and it's on us to do that, to address it. And I know when we have exit interviews as an athletic committee, we listen to the concerns of coaches and not only football, I'm talking coaches in general. And we address some, we do. But I've been hearing this ever since I've been here. The facilities that we have are not good for what our program, our athletic programs are producing. And we need to address it. I just was wondering how, and it's a shame that's going to fall on you guys. To figure out how you're going to put 75 kids, football, uniforms, et cetera, and then gym class and now maybe basketball at the end of the year. I mean, it just doesn't register with me on how we're going to address that. And it's not your fault. No. Yeah. I'm just curious how you guys, throw that on your lap now and now getting our kids academically where they should be and, better and so on. And now put that on your shoulders, So I just think it's something that we as a board should take a hard look at and address.
And maybe we could sit down as a board, committee wise, et cetera.
I could comment to this.
Sure.
Okay, that the Building and Grounds Committee has already discussed this. It is in the process. It is on the want list for the high school, as long as we have something for the middle school. That our plan, as it has been from the beginning, is we're going to receive these bids from the middle school, or from Center Grange, the addition. We're going to see where these numbers come in. We're going to choose what we're doing as alternates with the board. And we're going to see what money's left. And we're going to rate these projects, which that is one of them, along with several other ones, and then determine how the extra money is going and how it's going to be spent to best fit the district as a whole. So that is on the list. As you know, when the architect was here, we went down, we looked at the locked rooms, we looked at other areas, we looked at other options. The speed of it happening by this year is not going to happen. We know that.
That's a question I have. So
I do want to let you know that is on a list along with several other things that the committee's discussed, but we can't make any decisions until we get these numbers in. Once these numbers come in, then this board needs to decide, as it was discussed earlier, what are we going to do? Are we accepting them? If we are, and then what alternates are we accepting? And then once that comes, that time, then we'll be able to sit there and get with the finance committee and put a budget together of what we have to do these capital projects.
Okay, bottom line is, this year, though, it won't be done.
No, it won't.
Okay, it won't be done. So we're still addressing what I just addressed, how they have to do it.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be something. I mean, I know when I was there was 70 some kids that played and we made it work. Is that the most ideal situation? To your point, absolutely not. But you know how that goes through the year.
We'll know these answers in 3 to 4 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. We'll know.
Doesn't address this year, which I think it should have been maybe addressed a while ago and not wait until now.
That's too big of a number to.
Well, I don't even know what the number is. You know what the number is?
Preliminary numbers, it's up there, 7 figures.
Well, the only reason why I asked that, I talked to the architect. The architect has nothing on paper, doesn't even have an idea of what something like that would cost.
Okay. I mean, I took when we talked square footage numbers, that he has ballparks and he threw numbers out.
Okay, well, he didn't share that with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Bloom?
I want to echo the kudos that Mr. Ross passed out to the administration and the staff for the good job with the kids academically. Keep up the good work, making us proud.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Moet?
I can't help but make a quick statement. We as a board have decided to spend our money elsewhere instead of upgrading facilities that we know we're lacking. So it falls on us, and we've made a decision to go elsewhere with it. We know what's lacking, not just in our athletic facilities, but in our academic facilities. And I can't help but make the comment that we have decided as a board to spend that money elsewhere. Can't just pull money out of the air. We know what our finances are. We decided to spend them somewhere else. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I think I'll keep it short and just wish Mr. Casey a long and happy retirement. And I appreciate the work that he did here. And I agree with Lucky that he is a fine gentleman and he's going to be missed. He's going to be missed. And I hope he does well in the States.
Okay, I hope he does too. What a way to go out.
Yeah.
Mr. O'Neill?
Congratulations to all you principals on another good year, and especially fruitful when we see all that rigor that we put in all these programs finally paying dividends. So Kudos, good job.
Senzo?
Yes, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Casey. I've known him since when I worked in the school. Fine gentleman, and it's nice to hear he's going to go out on a good note. And again, congratulations to all the administration and your staff, and thank you.
Mr. Imiller, I didn't call on you. Any comments on technology?
Home stretch.
Home stretch, huh? Okay. And again, just echoing what everybody says here, we've got a great team here. We really, really do. And we appreciate everything that you administrators do. Some people do their job and go home. You guys live it here. You live it. And we really thank you from the bottom of our heart.
It is.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Moed, seconded by Mr. Senzo. Thank you very much.